Youth Guide to Teens and Sex Today. This is not an easy decision, deciding when to have sex for the first time. There are so many pressures from movies, from friends, from our own bodies. If you have a pot of boiling water and you try to hold that lid down, if you let go for even a second, that lid is going to burst off because of the pressure. On the kibbutz, my top popped. Fred had a great love of his own. Gustav, the car. Fred named him after the King of Sweden. Fred only remembers our son Joel's birthday because it's on March 14th, the date he bought Gustav. We all had to get in the car and sing happy birthday to Gustav every 10,000 miles. Fred's Volvo dealer had a birthday cake for Gustav when he reached 450,000 miles. I taught our son Joel how to drive in Gustav. First lesson, I look at his foot on the gas and I see the street racing by underneath. Gustav's bottom had rusted and Fred kept putting big aluminum sheets on the floor. I said, Fred, this car isn't safe. He said, it's safe as long as you keep your feet on the pedals. The day he sold Gustav, can you believe somebody bought him? He drove our son Joel to school and all Joel's friends were wearing black armbands. Fred mourned for weeks. Even when he watched Diane Sawyer on the news. Fred loves Diane Sawyer. Whether she brings good news or bad, always happy to see her. Fred never talks to the reporters. That is my world. He has his. Except for the day Diane Sawyer came to interview me for 60 minutes. Then I could not get rid of him. He sat right here next to me on the couch. And the first question Diane Sawyer asks is, Mr. Westheimer, how is your sex life? Freddie doesn't blink. He looks straight into the camera at millions of people watching and says, Diane, the shoemaker's children don't get any shoes. The next morning, the SS came to our apartment. Big men, shiny boots. My mother cried. My grandmother took money from the seam of her skirt and put it into one of the men's hands and said, please, take good care of my son. I looked out our window and I saw my father taken to a truck. The truck was covered, so I couldn't see if there were others inside. Papa must have felt me staring. He turned and saw me and smiled. And then he stepped in the truck and was gone.